Can my modified all-wheel drive keep up with even more modified four-wheel drives? In case you're new to the channel, I don't over-sensationalize. I keep it real, I don't highlight real. In this video, I'm going to talk about real key differences between all-wheel drives and four-wheel drives. Stuff that automotive journalists on YouTube simply aren't going to talk about. Let's take rocker clearance for example. I've mentioned this many times on my channel. It's very important for off-road travel. So something like a Subaru Ascent has 8.7 inches of ground clearance, a Toyota 4Runner 9.5, and my Honda Passport in stock form is only at 8.1. What? Take a look at the rocker clearance, it tells a different story. You'll want to pay attention where the center hub lines up with the rocker panel, or body or unibody. You'll see that the path of the tires line up with this clearance. And so this modified 4Runner with 33-inch tires and a lift is probably at around 20, and my modified Honda Passport with a rock slider that takes away from that clearance is at around 16. So let's say my stock Honda Passport with 12 inches of rocker clearance probably would have scraped on that section. My 2019 Honda Passport is modified though. I have a 4-inch lift, 33-inch tires, and my minimum clearance is now at around 12.5 or 13 inches, and the rocker clearance is at around 16 to 16.5 inches with the rock slider. So if they're off, I would have 18 inches of rocker clearance, but it's more important to protect the unibody structure of my vehicle. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna go take this trail out to the mine that you could hike into. Sorry about the wind noise. Let's get a good look at this Tacoma. Like, look at that rocker clearance. It's at about 2 feet. Same thing with the Jeep, close to 20 inches, and then this 4Runner also close to 20 inches. Good stuff. And then we look at this Honda, my Honda, and not as good. So those other vehicles are going to be actually ready for difficult terrain, and in this video we're just going to be tackling a moderate trail. The moderate trail is going to be too much for a lot of stock all-wheel drives, and that's just the truth.
They say every day's a new day, live it like your last day. It's okay to feel great. Yeah, you're all jumping on a new wave. Time goes by, but I'll stay stuck up in my old ways. So hard to unlearn habits we've gotten addicted to. I'm trying to change my life, but so much easier to say than do. Oh, please help me. Please go easy on me. I can't believe it's so hard for me to see that I deserve to feel happy now. So please go easy. Please go easy on me. Go easy on me. Go easy on me.
Hosting this trip is Chris from Antelope Valley Overland Supply. His shop is strategically located between Los Angeles and the Eastern Sierras. Make sure to stop by his brick and mortar store to pick up on some camping gear or have your vehicle worked on. He can install some Overland mods into your vehicle. He did not pay me to say any of this. He organized this trip, and I want to give him a shout out because he's my buddy and I've known him back from when I used to drive a Subaru and back from when he used to drive a Subaru. So here's our first test. I know, for some reason, this obstacle looks really flat. I captured this with an iPhone 15 Pro Max. Here's a GoPro with a fisheye lens, and you can see that going down this obstacle is kind of sketch. So this is what I was most worried about during this trip, driving up this. Well, anyways, let's see how we do. First up is Stam, aka Past the Margin on Instagram. He drives a modified Jeep Wrangler 4xe, and this is the Rubicon, so it's going to have a 77:1 crawl ratio, has the ZF8 transmission, and lots of flex. I did not know this when he first started, but he is new to off-road. He bought the most capable vehicle you could get from the factory, modified it, and he's taking it on his trail. We all got to start somewhere. Okay, now this is Tim. He is actually more accustomed to off-road travel. He drives a 6-speed manual TRD Pro Tacoma. It takes more skill to drive manual, and towards the end he gave it some gas. You were able to hear that engine. Now here is my 2019 Honda Passport, modified. Even though it's more modified than stock, it's not that expensive to make these changes. Because I have less flex in the four-wheel drives, I decided to take this steeper route. Gearing is going to help on these obstacles, and to the untrained eye, you might say like, oh, that looked pretty easy. But let's do a slow motion replay so I can better explain things. So there's two things to look for that is going to show weakness in a vehicle's capabilities. Number one, if you have to use a lot of momentum. Using momentum will show vehicle weakness, but it will show driver capability. And those are going to be two different things. Sometimes driver capability could lead to broken vehicle parts. I guess more accurately, we could call it driver willingness or driver aggression. So I'm not using momentum to drive up this. I approached it slow, and then actually we're going to get into our second thing. If you see tires slip or spin, that's going to show weakness as well in a vehicle's capability. Although I didn't go in with momentum, towards the end there, I had some doubt, so I throttled out, and that is also using momentum. I'm increasing the RPMs. My rear wheels are less likely to slip because I have a rear twin clutch differential. It goes 50-50. So if one wheel goes in the air, the other one still has 50% that's being appropriated to the rear. The front differential in my Honda Passport not only is open, but it has a pretty weak traction control system. It really only works at the lower RPMs, between about 1200 to 1600, maybe a little more at 1800. But I do have a trick up my sleeve, and you're going to see it later on in this video. It's a brake line lock, or B.A.L.S system done by K20 Nart Pro. Now moving on to the tried and true Toyota 4Runner. This is a very ancient four-wheel drive platform with an engine that's super old and a 5-speed automatic transmission, but it is tried and true. Check out this flex. Dang. The flex of the solid rear axle and body on frame is the reason why this is a favorite choice for off-roaders. Compared to the brand new Jeep and Bronco, the cabin is much more serene, and that makes the old school 4Runner in a class of its own with no competition. Most of this trail that we're on is just a fire road. Really easy stuff. But it does get a little more rocky. Back 4 years ago in 2020, I took a large convoy through this route. The opposite direction though. You'll see what looks like little rocks on screen, but it was enough to damage a 2-inch lifted Toyota RAV4, current generation by the way, and crack the EVAP canister, which is a $2,000 repair. There were also other lifted all-wheel drives that were smashing skid plates. We had multiple people that damaged their skid plates to the point it was causing vibration sounds, so they had to be removed after our trip. Driver experience will definitely help prevent any kind of this damage. Now the Jeep Wrangler and the Toyota 4Runner have new drivers, or new off-roaders. It's just that there's so much vehicle capability, trail damage isn't going to happen. We did not come across this 4 years ago. I actually got us lost.
Where are you at right now? Yep, nice and slow, nice and slow. Your passenger side wheel is going to drop in 3, 2, 1. Side wheel is going to go up. we're clear. Keep going. Driver a little bit. Keep going. Your passenger side wheel is going to drop in 3, 2, 1. Come in. Your driver's side wheel is going to go up. And 3, 2, 1. Good. We're clear.
Thank you, thank you. All right, we're all turned around now. I got us lost, sorry everyone. But now we got to drive up this. Yeah, I don't remember driving down that little obstacle.
Probably want to come up here and pull out.
Yeah, good, Chris.
Right, straight. You coming? Now your front end is going to go up. You got to stay in it here. Driver's side wheel is going to go up. Go. Yep. Easy, 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 easy. Don't stop, but easy. Go. Passenger and follow Stam up the hill. Right. Go driver a little bit now. Keep the climb. Go. Yep. I don't think I would have hit it, but I am so glad you said something. Thank you. Stop. Go.
Is any tire spinning? I can brake lock it. Okay. Ooh, burnt rubber. Oh, what the hell? Let me go straight. Okay. Suck up on something. Right there, I chose to bump it. Probably could have utilized my ball system, but forgot about it. Here's Tim. He's going to have to use a little momentum because he drives the manual. Here's where both flex from a solid rear axle or solid front axle and a balanced four-wheel drive system with front to rear rotational lock would come in handy. You'll see here that my vehicle gets cross-axled. Rear passenger tire is going to slip and driver front tire is going to slip as well. I probably should have used my ball system, but I forgot to, and I just reversed and bumped forward. Ooh, spicy. Let's see that again. Not as dramatic from the outside. Now it's Tim in his stick shift Toyota Tacoma, and he's just gonna go at a constant speed and just crawl through. The Tacoma's just gonna flex through this. It just looked way too easy. Now it's time for the final obstacle, which looks like it's going to be the most difficult out of all these obstacles. Okay, right here, it looks like that will probably get my vehicle cross-axled. But to this Jeep, ain't no thing. One thing to keep in mind is that all of these obstacles are slightly uphill. So that will play a factor. Obviously, if you're driving down this stuff, it's going to be much easier. Scott's 4Runner is going to flex pretty good here. So that rear passenger tire, look at that droop. It's going way down there. And as it starts driving up here, you're going to get that tuck. It could tuck even more. It's pretty good at flexion and extension. And then right here, you'll see that rear tire droop again. There it goes. Easy stuff. That is a vehicle designed to go off-road. Now, my Honda is modified. I do have flex and extension mods. Actually, my front sway bar is removed here. Let's go see if we could, I don't know, so if there's some droop. I think it could droop more, but there it goes. It could tuck, but I don't think it gets to that point. Oh, there you go. I mean, that's a bit of a difference. So just know that a stock Honda Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline will not be able to flex like this. And what the heck was that? That was a lot easier than I thought it would be. My transmission temperature has gone up to 212, and the only reason I'm able to know about this is because I have a scan gauge too. Friendly reminder, if you have an all-wheel drive, most likely you will be warmer than 212 at this point. So know when you get too hot. Anywhere around 230, 240, that's when you should be taking a break. And if you drive a four-wheel drive and thought this trail was too easy, so you just stayed in 4 high, then most likely your transmission is overheated as well, because the gearing in my Honda is like the Toyota 4Runner in 4 low second gear. That's a 20.4 to 1 crawl ratio, whereas in a 4Runner, if you just stay in 4 high, your first gear is 13.1 to 1. That's a big difference.
Keep coming. When you get here where I am, stay to your right. Don't climb this ledge, but also don't climb that other ledge. For you, John, stay to your right. Don't climb either ledge.
Ooh. This wheel in the air? Yeah. Alright. Okay. Brake locking it. There we go. Oh, still need to do it. There we go. Has its uses. There we go. Alright. Yeah, so that was the first time I had to use the B.A.L.S system. And something like that, if I didn't have the B.A.L.S system, it would be embarrassing, but that would have stopped me where I'd have to back up and I'd have to use a little more momentum.
Ledge, so stay to your
See if we could get Tim here. And of course, lots more articulation, more capability, more balance. The reason I say balance is because when you have a four-wheel drive system, there's a rotational lock front to rear, and that is going to provide balance. Whereas with an all-wheel drive system, there's a center clutch pack system, a multi-plate clutch pack system, and it's going to send, it's not going to be a rotational lock. All right, we're about to get moving again. One thing I just wanted to show you is my trans temp is at 222 after doing that obstacle. And even though this brake line lock system adds capability, it does, just imagine how much stress the transmission's having to go through. It's having to go through a lot more stress because I'm braking a wheel and it's having to drive through it, and then, you know, everything gets rerouted to the wheel that has traction. So it's going to make the transmission a little warm. There's like the delayed effect. At first, after completing the obstacle, my transmission temp was still at 212, and then moments later, it's now 222. We're pretty much to our destination.
I'm so cold. Yeah, my heart's sinking like a storm. I'm so cold. Yeah, my heart's sinking like a storm.
All right, so thank you very much for watching this video so far. This is the part where I'm going to talk about why I drive a Honda, why I continue to drive one, because, you know, every so often I'll make a video to remind you all, and it's just the on-road daily drivability and comfort and space. Look at all this freaking space. I can't even touch the sides. There's definitely a lot of plus sides to driving what I drive, and check out my Gaia GPS map. Look at all the places I've been to. How many miles have I driven on this thing? I don't want to scare you into thinking, oh, I need to get a 4Runner or better. Let me get a Lexus GX. I'm gonna get a Jeep Wrangler. I'm gonna get a Ford Bronco. I don't want you to feel like you need that, because I was able to get through this trail. You know, there are some parts where I slipped a wheel, or I had to spend like an extra 2 seconds to back up and then move forward. In my opinion, it wasn't that big of a deal, right? And then I also made another video about if you increase that difficulty to hard, or, you know, difficult four-wheel drive, that's where it doesn't matter what you drive. Things are just gonna start breaking. You're gonna bend your tie rods. Your axles are gonna pop. Increase in difficulty from moderate, and then doesn't matter what you drive, things are just start breaking. Obviously, this vehicle, in my opinion, if you're crazy enough, you could take on a difficult, hard trail, but you know, if you're reasonable, stay away. Right? This vehicle is just not capable of that. Independent front suspension four-wheel drives, when they take on something hard, and if you're not experienced, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Things are constantly going to be breaking. Even if you're experienced, hard trails will have the potential to really jack up your ride. So I'm not interested. I've been very far distances, and I consider this thing a destination overland vehicle. It's meant for overland travel, where I'm not having to stay in a hotel. I enjoy the outdoors way more than staying inside a hotel, spending a bunch of money to stay in a hotel. I'd rather just camp up in the mountains, soak into a hot spring, enjoy nature, maybe have the coyotes yipping at night. This vehicle, it's a lifestyle vehicle. So I want to make this clear. If you drive a more like hardcore four-wheel drive, your highway experience might suck so bad that you're just not getting out. I was joking about it with Scott. Well, he heard me say like, well, I used to drive an FJ Cruiser, but the thing is, once you get up to 70 miles per hour, it's like white knuckle. You're all like, oh, driving on the highway, 70 miles an hour. It just, you know, all that float. You have to get in the zone. Where in this thing, you know, I just put my hand right down over here I just chill. I'm just cruising like that. You're definitely entitled to your opinion, so if you could definitely disagree with me. I'm someone that really wants a good on-road experience. I daily drive this thing. Pretty sporty. You know, this thing does 0 to 60 in stock form, it does 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds. Whereas, you know, the people that say I'm better off driving a 4Runner, that's a 7.5 second 0 to 60 vehicle. That's a big difference. That's almost 2 seconds. 1.7 seconds, rounded up. Okay, and then I also wanted to talk about Subaru. They do have a place. You know, lately I haven't had a Subaru in a while, so you know, I don't feel attacked by all the memes that circulate social media, but man, there's a lot of hate for Subaru from the four-wheel drive community, just because I think they've been getting more and more popular, and the four-wheel drive space can be pretty darn toxic. If you have a Subaru, don't feel that you don't belong. You have these vehicles that travel far distances, way more efficient than a lot of other vehicles, including mine. That's something special. You know, while the true hardcore wheelers are sticking to their local trails, you're driving across the country and doing it on the cheap. Like a Subaru Forester, you know, 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated. You know, you could get close to 30, and then in a Crosstrek, you could get 30 and beyond. And I think my friend Matt High School, I like how he builds his Subaru. He uses light wheels, a light build. It makes his own aluminum bumpers. He doesn't throw stuff on top of his roof like I do. He has a lighter build, and he says that he's getting MPGs in the 30s. With how he drives and with the capability of the Forester Wilderness, he's getting to a lot of places, and he's doing it at 30 MPGs. There's definitely a place for Subarus in the Overland space. My friends Milton and Carrie, they definitely push the limits, and they get to some amazing places, and if they break things, they know how to fix their rigs. So that's definitely you know, definitely respectable. So don't feel that you know, you just don't belong. So I guess that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have fun on your adventures. The